welcome back. We have now another keynote sponsor speech from the BTCU company. I see that Eric Ma is already here. Eric, the stage is yours. You're welcome.
Great. Thank you so much, Sergey. It's a pleasure to be here. The topic I would like to discuss today is the topic of changes. And just to introduce myself, I am Eric Ma. I'm the CEO of BTCU. And this keynote speech is not based on, it's not going to be totally based on BTCU because, we don't want you guys just to listen to a whole spiel about that. Although at the end, I will share a little bit about it because I'm really excited about the project. So as far as changes goes, I think it's a topic that everyone, it's very general. I think it's a speech that basically will involve everybody because there's changes in every aspect of our lives. So, some of the things that involves changes is changes in leadership, right? As we've seen in the last few years and always, 100 years before. And it often brings changes, whether it's a government or a company, it will bring changes to these and affect our lives. Changes in the way that we use money, going from bartering back thousands of years ago, where they're trading food with goods, to trading shells and blocks of salt, to be using coins, cash, and then credit card. Credit card was quite revolutionary, and then now the real revolution is cryptocurrencies on blockchain. Changes in my life. So I think I come from a background that's different from a lot of people who are either from the tech industry or from, the financial industry. Not all, but most are. I actually started my career as a landscape architect in the United States and did that for 10 years. I loved it. So I'm quite a right brain kind of a person. So design was definitely part of my nature. However, when I made the move into Asia with my family, landscape architecture is not really a huge industry in this space. So over here, so I had to shift careers and I got involved in HR, human resources, which was interesting. And I think what I've learned at human resources is how to deal with people, which helps with my management skills. So I did HR, believe it or not, for 10 years in the education industry. And blockchain. Now I am involved in blockchain for the last 5 to 6 years. And I think that's been the most exciting in my life because it's kind of fulfilled a dream in that, I missed the internet bubble, or I shouldn't say bubble, but internet's boom. And, having missed that, I always had a slight regret of like, I was kind of old enough. I have friends that I went to school with that, now they're millionaires and because they got involved in the internet boom. So now being now in blockchain, I've been involved with data aggregation side at CoinMarket, which I was a core member of previously, and seeing the internal workings from the exchange side. I headed up an exchange out of Singapore, and now I'm directly involved within BTCU. So it's been exciting to see it from all kind of levels, and the more you see, the more you understand the space, and the more you see, the less you know. It's kind of like one of those things. So continuing onto the subject of changes, I want to discuss the different generations of crypto in perspective to how tech has changed in just the short 10 years, 10 plus years that, since Bitcoin was invented. So with blockchain, we could see similar progression and development that is comparable to the emergence of the internet. So I think the comparison between the two is kind of neat because they're kind of running in parallel now, and it's kind of interconnected and kind of hard to say if it's really blockchain or internet now. As we all know, blockchain technology was first outlined by Satoshi Nakamoto in the Bitcoin white paper, which was revolutionary. I think that's one of those things. The white papers is something you read, you might have to read 3 or 4 times or maybe 5 times to really until it really blows your mind away. Maybe for some of you who are smarter, maybe it just takes one time, but it took me a few times to before it really blew my mind away. And despite its initial conception as a means to power a worldwide decentralized peer-to-peer current payment system, um, blockchain technology has gone on to find a home in a variety of industries. So let's look at the first generation of Bitcoin, or first generation of cryptocurrencies and blockchain. So Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies are basically the first generation of blockchain or first of cryptocurrency. So the development of the World Wide Web was marked by 3 phases. And today we're also going to be looking at blockchain and cryptocurrencies in 3 phases as well. And today we consolidate the stage as Web 1.0 compared to blockchain cryptocurrency 1.0. So Web 1.0 marked the fundamental beginnings of the internet as we know it today, where the World Wide Web was constituted by a set of static websites, did not provide interactive content. And when the internet came out, it wasn't too exciting, but it was just neat to be able to log into something, a chat, and be able to chat with your friends online. But it was revolution for its time, no doubt. Blockchain technology relies on a shared public ledger that entire cryptocurrencies network rely on, whereas one might rely on a trustworthiness of a bank to authenticate the integrity of a ledger. A blockchain instead relies on cryptography as its proof. So it's a really cool design in that it's a entire trust network that is just you don't have to trust any third party. So it's just you and somebody else on the other end. While Bitcoin has proven effective as a store of value, many have called it gold 2.0. I think a lot of that is we're starting to see that rather than a peer-to-peer payment system. And critics have noted that Bitcoin's relatively simplicity, its inability to handle contracts or trust agreements, and its limitations in terms of throughput have hampered its ability to one day serve as the de facto cryptocurrency, world currency. And I think we see that it's definitely not that now. And that's why further development from generation one needed to happen. So whereas like compared to the internet, which was first developed as a means to share information, and the hyperlink was the greatest tool in its arsenal. Similarly, other parties have noted that Bitcoin is under continuous development and that the newer technologies have already been implemented by the second generation blockchain. So moving into the second generation, you guys probably guess, is Ethereum and the smart contract. So that it opened windows and doors to new possibilities, and it was a lot of people started to get involved in terms of building on Ethereum and dealing with smart contracts. Whereas Web 1.0, it was essentially constituted by a web of pages connected by hyperlinks. It was neat that we started to surf the internet and be able to jump from place to place. Web 2.0 introduced the idea that web design could aim to foster creativity, collaboration by social sharing. And we're seeing the same thing on Ethereum and other platform tokens, such as Polkadot or Cardano. So the second generation of the technology, first outlined by Bitcoin's white paper, brought with it the idea that assets and trust agreements can be managed by a blockchain. So Ethereum represents the foremost second generation blockchain. They were the first movers regarding that. Vitalik and his team, Gavin Wood, had designed this technology to really so it allowed people to see the real use of blockchain. And while Bitcoin has been called digital gold, Ethereum has been called digital oil. So we don't hear that as much, but it's certainly is what's kind of the revolution. Just like during the American Revolution, the industry revolution, they needed a lot of oil, and Ethereum has that. They use gas though, right? So Ethereum proposes a view in which blockchain technology could be used to facilitate the management of digital assets without enforcing platform ownership. For the first time, Ethereum poses a solution to the centralization of internet, which have empowered conglomerates such as Google and Facebook, and effectively empowers blockchain technology as a platform. So second generation blockchains such as Ethereum threaten not only to disrupt our understanding of a monetary system, but could further pose serious consequences for litigators, regulators, and officials. While Ethereum may well become a leading platform for the development and decentralization of applications and the agreements in the future, the platform itself is not without limitation or criticism. We all know that with the current gas prices on Ethereum, regarding different Uniswap and all these any transaction just involving Ethereum. So that has certainly been one of its biggest challenges, and the proof of stake for Ethereum not fully being implemented until in about 1.5 to 2 years from now. You can see a lot of the other platforms kind of catching up and developing their platform to the weaknesses of Ethereum, and compounding the frustrations of Bitcoin users. Ethereum faces scaling difficulties, like I said, and in serving millions of people worldwide, and sometimes in a very short amount of time. And sometimes transactions take a long time, and gas fees are astronomical, sometimes even matching the amount that you're trying to send, which makes no sense for as far as investment goes. So secondly, like while Ethereum offers compliant token models for services wishing to run on it, neither Ethereum nor blockchain is fundamentally interoperable. So with the other decentralized currencies, the thousands of different currencies out there. So as compared to the internet, Web 2.0 had the same frustrations. Critics have argued that Web 2.0 was merely based on technologies and concepts of Web 1.0, which is similar to Ethereum and Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin being the first generation, Ethereum being the second generation. It was a progression. And I think there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just an additional technology that's tacked on. It's a good thing. I think industry building technology, it won't happen overnight. It's gonna, like Ethereum is going through its troubles and challenges. It's good for the industry. So it is imagined, however, that there may be yet ample opportunity to refine both blockchain's technologies and the internet moving forward. So basically, we're at Web 2.0 in our current space, and but however, our blockchain is you're starting to see it move a lot faster. With the third generation of crypto and Web 3.0 just around the corner, it's expected that the continued development of the web and the platforms and applications that might run on it will field what might be titled the intelligent web. So that's really exciting. I'm seeing a lot of cool projects, such as Deeper Network, which is creating a decentralized private network and becoming a gateway that offers endless connections to DeFi ecosystems. And in the same way, blockchain technology has several pillars to become more intuitive and usable to millions of people around the world. In the same way that physical infrastructure needs to be extended to provide internet access to billions of people around the world, blockchain technology also requires a salient scaling solution. So I think a lot of the Generation 3 crypto capabilities are dealing with particular issues, and they're trying to solve those issues that we saw in generation 2. So while several newer cryptocurrencies have debuted um, with the promise of accommodating more transactions per second, maybe focus on that. One of the fundamental qualities a third generation blockchain will offer is the need to have credible scaling as a solution regarding whether that takes place by altering the properties of a blockchain itself or handling more transactions through a second layer technology. So such as the Lightning Network, which has been around for a while. So as we move further, maybe second layer, Lightning technology or the Lightning Network will be a thing of the past. So where the World Wide Web compared to that, we will need to become more intercommunicable. And so blockchain technology requires a form of interoperable assets to diminish reliance on cryptocurrency exchanges. There is the argument that blockchain technology and Web 3.0 may ultimately become one and the same, so that you can't really distinguish, if you're using Web 3.0 or blockchain. So I think that will really drive mainstream adoption when that happens, because that means the two technologies have really meshed together. And I think that's something really exciting we have to look forward to, and further development when that happens. So leading to the push towards fourth generation of cryptocurrencies, there's projects like our project BTCU, Bitcoin Ultimatum, which has already launched its mainnet, and we are looking to list on tier 1 exchanges very soon. So where internet requires um, an open and secure platform to power a more intuitive experience, blockchain technology might be able to provide an open, immutable, and decentralized platform to power future transactions and applications on the internet. BTCU not only has one solution as compared to a lot of the problems in the generations 3 cryptocurrencies face. It's actually a combination of many solutions into one. So one of the things that BTCU really accomplishes is it deals with the energy efficiency of the mining aspect. So on BTCU, the mining efficiency and the power, because that uses a different consensus mechanism. It's a decentralized UPOS, so it's a ultimatum proof of stake. Very little power is consumed when you mine. So as it compared to Bitcoin, which is not very sustainable and super heavily reliant on power in order to mine. We also focus on the low transaction speed issues, and so on BTCU, our transactions are very high. It's over 10,000 basically transactions per second, which is faster than any credit system out there, like MasterCard, Visa. Their maximum is about 12,000 transactions per minute. So we're set up to do amazing things. So that's a combination of two solutions, the power use and then the transaction speeds. And then the last thing is the capabilities to scale and fraud detection. So let's look at the leasing aspect. The leasing aspect will allow people to basically, what do you call it? They will allow people to use the leasing to help along with the transaction speeds. We'll have atomic swaps, private transactions. So we have privacy transactions. So privacy is another feature that certain coins like Monero, that is basically their main feature. So as I talked about the other features we had, we also have a privacy feature where every transaction could be optionally turned on and off in terms of privacy. So that is a great option for people who want a little bit more privacy in their transactions versus, Ethereum and Bitcoin. It's quite transparent. It's not anonymous. So these are problems that we face. And of course, the smart contracts feature. We have smart contracts. We can build an entire ecosystem. We've built a great, basically assets. We can tokenize assets, and we're connecting to smart cities and tokenizing real estate that will allow future dApps. It could allow our platform directly to purchase real estate and any asset, online and through the blockchain securely through a smart contract. So without further ado, thank you for having me here. And if you want more information on BTCU, feel free to visit us at btcu.io. And it's a pleasure to have you watch, and hopefully one day we'll get a chance to meet. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Eric Ma. I want to remind you that this is our sponsor of this event, Digital. Here it is, Digital Week Online, the company BTCU. Stay tuned. We'll be back very soon.
Thank you.